The golden age of American Idol helped birth many stars. Even if they weren't the winner of a season, it was almost guaranteed back then that you still see many contestants take on singing careers, some which had a few hits or extreme longevity. David Archuleta was one of those contestants that didn't win, but ultimately became a winner anyway, considering the boost the show gave him. He ended up in second place on the 7th season of Idol, losing to David Cook, with a 12 million vote difference, but still had interest swirling around him. Idol actually wasn't Archuleta's first venture into televised singing competitions. At the age of 12, he won the Junior Vocal Champion on Star Search. He would continue to perform throughout the years until he found his way to American Idol at the age of 16. He stood out from other contestants because he also played instruments. Week after week, David would perform songs ranging from John Lennon, Phil Collins, to the Beatles, very clearly being inspired by a lot of veteran rock acts. As an active Idol contestant, David saw 3 of his covers into the Billboard Hot 100 at the same exact time. Outside of his very real talent, he also had a lot of fanfare and the teen heartthrob angle on his side. Shortly after the show, he signed to the iconic record label Jive Records, known for being the home to many young teen stars, such as Britney Spears, NSYNC, and Pink, just to name a few. A roster perfectly fit for a young, marketable young man, and his first single completely leans into the heartthrob categorization, simply titled Crush. In the song, David's narrator is just going through the simple motions of having a romantic crush. It's one of those 2000 songs where the song is all about the chorus. It feels like everything else in the song was made to build up to the chorus. But the chorus is undeniable when it hits. It sets up to be a sing-along. David falls into the line of artists whose debut song is also their most known song and biggest chart hit. The song went all the way to number 2 on the Billboard charts. Oddly, Crush was the only major song from his self-titled debut album. His follow-up single, A Little Too Not Over You, did not reach the Hot 100. But David's career experienced heavy promotion, especially amongst youthful audiences. He guest starred on shows like iCarly and Hannah Montana, even had a popular song with Hannah Montana titled I Wanna Know You. After releasing a Christmas album in 2009, he followed it up with his third album, The Other Side of Down, in 2010. Clearly, the album or its singles didn't perform to the label's standards, because in 2011, it was announced that he was dropped from Jive Records. According to Billboard, the album peaked at number 13 on the Billboard Albums chart and sold 67,000 copies, a significantly lower sum than his 2008 self-titled debut, which shifted 765,000 copies, and his 2009 holiday album Christmas from the Heart, which sold 246,000 copies. David has gone on record saying that the label wanted him to be the white Chris Brown, which is something he didn't want to do. David eventually decided to step away from his career to do missionary work for the Mormon religion. He will later reveal that stepping away from his career and doing the missionary work was also a way of rebellion against his controlling and manipulative dad, who had a stronghold on his career and was very demanding and brutal. Even during the American Idol days, there were various accusations that made headlines of David's dad not being the kindest to him, yelling at him, and even causing David to allegedly break down. David would deny this at the time and defend his father for quite some time. And only in recent history has he let his truth be known. After David's hiatus from being a missionary, he experienced a career resurgence in the Philippines of all places. He starred on a popular Filipino show which coincided with a successful album covering Filipino classics. David has continued to release various albums on a lower scale, but he has experienced somewhat of a rebirth publicly after coming out in 2021. He had already come out in 2014 to his family, but announced to the world much later. It's something that he felt a lot of guilt over. Before coming out, he called off his engagement with a woman and had an anxiety attack. And he even revealed that he had to take a break from Mormonism for his own sanity. Years later, and David said that he finally can relate to his career-defining song, Crush. It was very much from an appreciation of the songwriting, the melody, the pop song structure of the song that made me so excited to sing it. Rather than, this is what I go through, because I didn't go through it, he says. I sang Crush at the time as a 17-year-old, from a perspective of this is what someone feels when they go through a crush. And it wasn't an experience I had ever had, or at least I'd never allowed myself to have. It was like singing any other person's song and their story that I hadn't gone through. Now that I'm in my 30s, I have had that experience. Now out and proud and working through his past experiences, David says he is happier than ever.